Hey everyone, hope y'all are having a good one out there. Miss Amber 91 here. I just want to do a little bit of a case. Not many people have done the case on Jaycee Dugart before, the girl who was kidnapped in 1991 and held as a prisoner for 18 years. Which, when she was kidnapped, I was actually in my mom's stomach, and then when she was found, I was 1 month away from being 18. So, it wasn't long after, I came into the world, or after I graduated high school, that she was lost and found. I just wanted to, point out what kidnappers will do to their victims sometimes, including Jaycee Dugart, or what will happen to hostages sometime. Do you ever notice when, when someone's kidnapped and held hostage for a long time, that their own names will be taken from them? Like what happened to Jaycee Dugart? Because, one day Philip Garrido was noticing that Jaycee was writing in her journal, and she saw that there was her name, Jaycee, and then, he made her tear it out, and then, she made her change her name, and luckily he let her pick her name, but she was still given a new name, and her old name was taken from her. She wanted to be called Alyssa, and that would be her name for 18 years. That's how, will happen when, they want their victims controlled, or that's how they'll control their victims, by taking their own name from them. Or like happened to Colleen Stan in 1970 something, where she was kidnapped and held as a prisoner for 7 years by, I don't know their names, but her name was Kay during her captivity. Or with Elizabeth Smart, Brian and Wanda Barcy made her change her name to Esther. That way, they could also control her. Or what happened to the Cleveland girls, Amanda, Gina, and Michelle. Gina and Michelle, their names would be Chelsea and Juju for many years when Jocelyn came into the world. So, I don't understand why, when they take their names, and they're given new names, that's how they're controlled. Or like what happened to this when slavery was happening in the South in the United States. When slaves were brought from Africa, they would be given new names by their masters, and that's how they would control them. Or even in the movie Spirited Away, remember how Yubaba took Chihiro's name and gave her a new name? Well, Haku was appointing that's how she controls us, by taking our names. And I think that's some real Japanese history right there, because that really did happen. I know that there was bathhouse slavery at one time in Japan many years ago, or back when their names were also taken from them. So anyway, I don't know how Jaycee Dugart lived through all that, She was controlled, she was raped, she was in prison, and, Nancy Garrido was Philip's partner in crime, just like Elizabeth Smart's kidnapper, Brian and Wanda Barcy, partners in crime, which means, women can be just as evil sometimes as men, and sometimes even worse. Or we all know that, when slaves are brought here today, as in sex slaves, there's house mistresses or madams, women who, control sex slaves. So anyway, I'm glad that Jaycee Dugart was found 18 years later. And, it happens to kidnapping victims a lot. For those that survives, their names are taken from them. So anyway, I hope you're all having a good day out there. And, I'll try to put together some more videos like this on Jaycee Dugart and other kidnapping victims. All right, bye.